What's up, guys?
What is up?
This is a long-awaited second episode of Scalar Vector. Uh, Weird thing happened. We recorded an episode for like the start of the new year. Um, we had some issues with it, so we had to re-record today. And just yesterday was the storming of Capitol Hill with riots. They broke into Capitol Hill, into the Senate. And yeah, Trump supporters just kind of trashed the place to send a message. We
Yeah,
figured, I mean, who the fuck cares about the Australian forest fires at this point? We were gonna review some of the shit that happened over the year, but this just kind of tops all of it. Uh,
yeah. So we've been talking about it earlier. I've been recording, so we'll probably cut right about now.
I should open by saying, I don't know if this will get caught in the earlier clips, but I'm eating some miso soup right now. Order local,
Miso
people.
soup. Oh fuck, dude. That
Yeah,
man, that
order
sounds good.
local.
That's
Chicken udon, baby. I
mm,
warmed it up. I couldn't finish it all yesterday because they fucking gave me the massive portion. But
man.
it
I
was weird.
miss
It's just up the street. You know JP Sushi?
no, but I'll probably find it sometime.
Good. It's good. They're nice people there. They're very polite, as Japanese people are.
Yeah. No, actually, hey, I'll probably go there sometime in the next little bit. We try to eat out or buy local, once a week, and
Yeah.
looking for new places. So JP Sushi.
Yeah, it's like right next to the convenience stores.
Yeah.
I don't want to give out those names, but
Oh man. Oh, I miss like Japanese food and Korean barbecue, stuff like that. Like, oh,
that's the kind of shit we miss a lot when we're living on campus. Because like there's no,
yeah.
you
Like
know what I'm saying? It's
Toronto,
all
Toronto
casual.
has amazing food. Just such a diverse range of food from like all over the place. Like there's Little Italy, Little Greece, Chinatown, and then you go downtown, like every third store is a different restaurant.
Yeah, dude. When it was
Oh, so good.
in the summer, when I'd have to go into the office occasionally, there was this really good Caribbean place that was like right around the corner, and I would eat like barbecue chicken, jerk chicken.
Oh yeah.
That shit was so good. It saved me because I fucking hated going downtown
Yeah.
during the pandemic.
Yeah, I always went
So,
to Banh Mi Boys, which I didn't know at the time was a chain.
Banh Mi boys.
Dude, I took you there once, right?
Shit.
Those
You did.
sandwiches.
That was a couple years ago. I still remember that sandwich, that pork banh mi I
Oh my
had.
God. Best sandwich ever. There's one downtown Toronto on what, Yonge and like south of College
It's by
somewhere?
Ryerson campus, no?
Yeah. Well, that's a big place though. But yeah,
Yeah. Sure.
so good.
Anyone that goes there
Just
will
this
probably
French,
know what
yeah,
that
yeah. Anyone,
place
oh
is.
man, just this French loaf with like the most succulent pork you can find. I think they had like pickled carrots and stuff there too, cilantro if you want it.
It's next door to isn't it next door to Tokyo Smoke? One of the many
Um,
fucking weed shops that's opening.
Not next door, but maybe close. Uh,
Probably close.
all the weed stores around there that I know of have like since closed.
Yeah.
It's next to a leather store, which I bought a wallet from one time, and the wallet, none of the cards fit. Nothing fit. Like it was the most useless fucking wallet I've ever bought. I
That's some
probably
made
still
in
have it.
China shit.
Yeah, no, it honestly, like I should have just not bought it once I saw it, but if you're in there like really looking at a wallet and you don't just leave without buying anything,
Yeah.
that's what I should have done though. I'm too nice.
Okay, so there's we're gonna have to cut this up really weirdly, but
Yeah,
I mean,
we can chop it.
we'll just have to snip snips. We'll just have to snip snips. We'll just have to snip snips. One topic I did want to come back to is at the start of the year we were talking about almost a year ago today was like the freaking Hong Kong riots, right? That shit pales in comparison to what happened yesterday. With Capitol Hill being destroyed, but um to me that kind of marked the start of the pandemic because that was close to when schools got shut down around March. But I remember just before then, the canon, or I should start with that. I go to university as well. A lot of locals there might know what the
All
canon
over
is.
the fucking place.
It is. It's basically we have a cannon in the middle of campus, and students like to paint it to advertise clubs and shit. But for the first time, some students painted it black, and they put messages like "Free Hong Kong" over it. It was like a political statement about what was happening overseas back in the homeland, and that started a lot of commotion because there were students that were pro-China versus pro-Hong Kong, and honestly, back then that was like the biggest conflict I'd ever seen. But I just remember sitting there, chilling in the cold after class, looking at the two groups of students on opposite sides, just kind of shouting at each other, and I thought, holy shit, this is not good. And then thankfully school closed shortly after that. But
What do you think would have happened with that Hong Kong China thing at your school if it hadn't been closed?
uh, honestly, there was, I think it settled down before uh, school closed. But I know the school put out a statement saying the canon is not meant for political statements. First of all, that was like the first step in, I guess, from the school. But I wouldn't see any violence happening between the two groups, mostly because um, it was really like there weren't enough. They were both small groups on both sides, and really, um, at least from my perspective, I don't I don't think these students would fight with each other because I mean ultimately a lot of them are from the same places. They were all students that transferred from China from various places. So I wouldn't have seen it getting like violent, but there were definitely a lot of strong words being thrown back and forth, even coming from a guy that doesn't know Mandarin
Oh, you can
or
still tell.
Canada. I could still tell. I've
Yeah.
been screamed at like that before by fucking old people at TNT. I have a Chinese rant to go on, but I'll save that for another day. I'm not feeling angry enough
Yeah, yeah. We'll wait until
for
we can have an angry podcast sometime. Just unleash everything we hate.
that.
Unleash everything. Just.
Yeah,
But for now, it's just I don't know. It's 2 p.m. on a Thursday. Kind of just numb from all the lack of stimulus.
I'm looking at the list
Very
of shit that we wrote down for like the New Year's review, and it's just like just moments of shock, like
just like, oh, this
forest
shitty thing
fires
happened
in
to the world.
Australia,
Yeah.
all the panic buying, the the missile strike on that Iranian general. It's just like shock, shock, shock.
Yeah. And it's to be honest, it's probably stuff that most people know.
Yeah, but at
So,
this point, all I can say is like I don't have the words to go over it after how speechless I am from freaking the capital being
yeah.
like just just stepped on. Do you wanna go over some of the clips
Yeah, we can go
that
over
I
some of the
sent
clips.
earlier?
And then I feel like let's try to put a
I kind of want
positive
to
spin on
trash on
this
these
at the end.
protesters a little bit.
Yeah, let's dunk on these idiots for a sec. We'll start
Yeah,
with what's her I forgot her name, but we'll
our girl Elizabeth from Tennessee,
Elizabeth
baby.
from
Oh my god.
Tennessee.
What happened to you?
I got maced.
You got
We
maced.
made it.
By the police.
And what happened? You were trying to go inside the
Yeah,
Capitol?
I made it like a foot inside and they pushed me out and they maced me.
What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
And why did you want to go in?
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
What happened to you?
Oh my god, that's
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
bro, like these people are made of paper. Like what are you talking about? Like, oh, I made it like a step in and they made me. It's like what is this playground? Are you tattling to a teacher or something? Like what the fuck is this?
My problem is you can't. Why am I focused on myself? I can't. There you go. My problem is you can't have it both ways. If it's a revolution and you're storming the fucking building where you're not supposed to be, they're gonna react.
Well, like
They're
yeah,
gonna punch you
exactly.
in the
Do you
face.
think
They're
this
gonna
is gonna
mace
be easy?
like
Like what is this?
like I can't go punch someone in the face and then get mad if they fight back.
Yeah, I know. It
Like
kind of screams like entitlement, and I don't like using the word white privilege or the words white privilege, but it has that written all over
yeah,
it. Like what you're upset that you got maced because you were in a place you were trespassing. Like you were part of an angry mob, like of course you're gonna get fucking maced, lady. Like what?
Yeah,
So
and also
stupid.
think of how many minorities get literally killed for so much less. Like literally killed. Like imagine if that entire mob, instead of being a whole bunch of like hillbillies, Trump supporters, imagine if that was a mob of Black Lives Matter.
Gun down,
Like mostly black people.
gun down.
National
would've
Guard would
been-
be there. How many people would have been killed?
The National Guard would have been there ahead of time if it
Right?
was
Smashing
really
windows, stealing shit, bro. Like nowhere
Yeah.
close. And then I got maced. Ha! Like
I
Get the
came
fuck
all
outta
this
here.
way to be a part of the revolution, and they maced me. Like,
I almost want to go pull up like other instances of revolution because I'm pretty sure people get killed for revolution. Pretty sure there's actual like battles. There's like violence.
people get hurt in a fucking violent situation.
What kind of weak bone, soft ass shit? Like, oh my god, it just makes me upset.
It's like
Makes
they're
me upset.
weak. Throw up the clip of the
The-
fence breakdown. I wanna talk about that.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's great minds. I was just pulling that up. Okay, so we'll see what we can see here. I'll lower the volume so that hopefully you can hear. So we'll start sort of more at the beginning.
Stormed the Capitol building. They are marching through now.
So in here, they're inside. I want to see the scared police officer.
Yeah, the fucking one guy that they posted there.
Yeah.
It's-
And that's messed up too that Trump called off the National Guard. Like he called them away beforehand.
yeah. I mean,
Because they
he's the
should have
one
been
that's
prepared for this.
he's the one that started this shit. So
Yeah.
of course he wouldn't want the National Guard to be there.
That's true. That'd be pretty lackluster for him. Yeah, this one police officer is like, okay, no, there's more than one there, but there's not nearly enough.
Really enough.
Look at
They're
them.
pretty much-
They're just pushing through. They're just pushing through. Why am I not full screen? And yeah, they get this guy into the corner, and then he's pretty much stuck there. Amid a mob. There he is.
Dude, that guy looks so scared.
Yeah. I mean, the
Holy
mask
shit.
doesn't help. I'm sure he has just like scared eyebrows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow, his brow is really, really upset.
Yeah, he's making that
what's that?
rooftop.
What's that? Is that a gun? Is
I
that
don't,
a,
it's
is
got
that
that
a
thing
paintball
on the
gun?
top. It looks like
that
a
looks like
paintball
that looks
gun.
like a paintball gun, Hopper.
I mean, it's a hopper. They could be shooting like they're not shooting live rounds out of that. That's
Yeah.
you don't.
As
Put
far as
live
I'm
rounds in a
aware,
hopper.
yeah, as far as I'm aware, that's not how you store bullets. But I've seen hoppers just like that with paintball. So
That could be anything. It could be shooting like rubber balls.
yeah, probably not paintballs.
Yeah. But where's
Yeah,
a
let's
little
go
bit
up the
farther
fence.
ahead.
Yeah, so let's wait. I want to get the
Pay
The
attention
thing
to the
yeah, the
cop in the
officer with
middle.
the hat on.
yeah.
And then they threw something. I don't know what they threw. But they're really upset that one of them got punched.
Yeah, this
While
guy,
trying to
this
break
this
down the
officer with the
fence.
hat kind of goes and he kind of throws a punch,
Yeah.
and the immediate reaction. I don't know if we can hear.
Yeah, you can hear-
see, but
Here, I'll pull it up.
the
again.
reaction of the protesters is like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You can't do that!" They're like pointing.
Yeah, I was like, no, 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 no. So we'll get the audio here in a sec. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Like, I'm telling you, these protesters are they're made of paper. Like, they're such whiny bitches.
Yeah.
Like, look what you're doing. Of course, you're gonna face some kind of consequences. Like,
Yeah.
such
Like they
little
don't
fucking bitches.
appreciate that where they are, they wouldn't get killed for what they're doing. But I could imagine a large number of way more militant states that would just straight up kill these people.
Easily. And it would have happened if these were Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
protesters. I think there would have been
Or
a
to be
much
more
stronger
accurate, if these are
reaction.
black protesters.
I've
Like-
seen reports where like some of the cops just straight up they just invited some of the rioters in, because at the end of the day, you know, it's possible that some of the people on guard were either just disingenuous to their post, or what's the word I'm looking for? Just
Sympathizers.
sympathizers. Yeah, they were just kind of like, fuck it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with this.
I saw I forget the joke exactly, but it was like, why did it take so long for the police to arrive at Capitol Hill? Well, they had to change into their uniforms first.
I like that one.
They were there and they got summoned, so I had to go back and change.
And even when the National Guard came in, and then that's when the violence stopped, because that's when I guess the rioters were like, whoa,
They're
okay,
like, okay, there's a lot of them.
we're outmatched here. But at the end, you can watch news feeds of officers like peacefully just escorting the people out. There's even I saw someone there's an officer holding a woman's hand and walking her down the stairs. It's like, can you imagine this kind of civility being given to some of the protesting that happened earlier this year?
Yeah,
That was certainly more peaceful than storming the fucking Capitol.
yeah, like bashing windows and shit. Although that did happen, but not in the same way. Like that was, I mean, I obviously wasn't there, but I felt
Bro,
like that was
you
more
can't you
opportunistic
absolutely
theft than like an organized like storm the castle shit.
exactly, you absolutely cannot draw comparisons to storefronts being destroyed to the fucking to Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same. I just have to snips. And then we can end the topic by saying, with the fresh news, that Congress got together and then finished the vote, saying, yeah, Biden's our guy.
Yeah.
He won. Like, the place is trash. They all come back and they finish the vote.
Like, we know what we have to do.
Uh-huh.
No
Yeah.
more questions. It's yeah, I've heard like speculation that I don't even know if like either Trump's an absolute retard. He's like
No,
a
he loves
chaotic
this.
motherfucker that wants to
He's
see the
just
world
watching it.
burn. Or he's like in debt to the Russians and they're like, "Okay, we're going to cut your fucking legs off if you don't do this shit for us. You got to run for president and you got to just do all these things. You got to try to start wars with people. You got to I don't know. All that
Maybe
stuff."
that's an interesting take. What I'll save the scoop for the podcast, but some crazy shit's going down, like
I'll tell you this.
internally.
I've started recording, so might as well just say it. I could do some
Oh,
splicing.
okay. Yeah. Hold on. Am I on camera? I can't actually tell.
You're on camera for me.
Okay. Yeah. So the rioting, protesting, whatever you want to call it, at Capitol Hill, the violence mostly came to a stop when the National Guard was called in. But the reason why they weren't there in the first place, because I mean, the city of DC knew this was going to happen today. Like, the mayor was urging everybody to stay home. They wanted the National Guard to come in, but Trump was like, no, he vetoed it. So it's almost like he was letting them in.
Wow.
And of all people, Pence stepped in and ordered the National Guard. He doesn't technically have the power to do so, but I mean, they just did it anyways. I guess because the National Guard probably listened, because they're like, yeah, we need to step in. Like, we're not gonna let this happen. So some people are speculating that internally, they've already kind of dethroned Trump, or they're just like not listening to him, because this was just like the absolute crossing of the line.
Yeah, when your second in command like goes against your orders, that's a sign there's been a mutiny. And that's good.
Yeah.
Like that's
And Trump, he left Pence behind too, because Pence was evacuated from the premises, but Trump was basically ordering Pence to like stop all the violence. I don't know how he would, but he basically just left him at his post, so that, I don't know, as a scapegoat or whatever. So that's probably when Pence decided, like, yeah, I'm done with this shit. Just
get me out of here.
get me out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fucking clown fiesta.
yeah, that administration is crumbling from the inside. Have you looked at Trump's Twitter?
No, I haven't. I'll
Like,
pull
we
it
know
up.
we know it's all been locked and shit, but he's been tweeting out like his message is in essence, it's like he's implying that he wanted this to happen or almost encouraging the violence. Because he keeps repeating his message that the election was stolen, it was fraudulent, all of this. But then he ends it with saying, "Go home, we need peace." It's like you can't keep spreading that message and not expect people to be violent about it, because I mean, if you put themselves in their shoes, if you truly believe that the election was stolen from you, stolen from the country, of course, this is the reaction. You know what I'm saying? You can't spread the message and then just say, yeah, but go home.
Yeah.
Like they know exactly what they're doing.
No, and he's definitely like it. It looks worse on him to not call them off now. Like this is a chance for him to look good and be like, whoa, 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 settle down now. Then everyone listens. They're like, Trump is the savior.
Yeah, but it's awful. There's just no leadership right now.
Yeah.
And nothing can do anything. Like, is this what happens when the president, when you have corruption at that high of a level? Like
Yeah.
none of this could have been stopped. It's been building for months and months. Like if you keep telling people the election was stolen, fraud, yeah, this was.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all knew this was gonna happen, and you can't keep saying it and then also say that you're telling them to stop. You're not.
What I find
So
what I find hilarious is I'm reading through these tweets, and about every other tweet has a little warning at the bottom that says this claim about election fraud is disputed. Like every
yeah,
single one. The states want to redo their votes. They found out that they voting. Holy crap! I just had a brain aneurysm. They found out they voted on a fraud. Nice, Jay. Nice, Donald. Legislation is never approved. Let them do it. Be strong. What?
bro, it's they're reaping what they sowed. We'll just have to snip.
Anyways, Americans are fucked. I feel like we need to take them over, and the dynasty of Canada needs to begin.
Yeah, I wonder that. Like, what the hell is our job here as the direct neighbors?
We can't
I
do
haven't
shit. We
actually.
can't do shit about them.
We
Like,
can't, because this is an internal problem, right? It's technically not our business.
what we gotta do is we gotta foot by foot, or should I say, meter by meter, take the land from them until we have all the
Meter by
shit they
meter.
have.
Take
Or
one marble away from the pile at
yeah,
a time.
or you just say, okay, Russia, do your thing. Let them fly over us, and then we'll
Yeah.
resettle. That's fucked up, I know, but there's deep-rooted issues.
One sec, I gotta grab something.
Okay, we can put this on hold. In the meantime, I'd like to thank today's sponsors. Ah, shit, he's back.
For many of you don't know, over Christmas, my brother gave me this book, Andrew Yang's. He wrote this 2017 or 18, called "The War on Normal People," and it's basically his thesis for universal basic income. That's what he ran for the 2020 election. But in it, during a lot of he made a lot of podcast appearances. But a point he made was that as we automate away trucking jobs to self-driving trucks, that a lot of the people that work in those industries aren't just going to roll over and let their jobs get taken away. And he predicted that a dire outcome would be that truckers would take their vehicles, block the streets, get their guns out, and just say, "Hey, we're not going to move until you make self-driving trucks illegal." And a lot of people were just kind of like brushing off that, like, you really think that's going to happen? You really think it's going to get that drastic? He made that prediction 2 years ago, and this is just the same thing, but much worse. The pandemic kind of,
I'd say this is
it,
different.
I think it's the same idea in that a lot of these people have lost their jobs or are against lockdown, and in being in staying in their being told to stay in their homes just riled up a lot of anger, and this is the result of that. It's the
Okay.
same. It's the same to me. It's the same symptoms of anger and of building tension, right?
Yeah.
These people stormed the Capitol. It's exactly what he predicted. So, well, it's what he predicted, but worse.
Yeah, I don't know all the factors, but I don't feel like they're that similar though, because this was a riot that was kind of stirred up by Trump, a shit disturber, versus a whole class of people whose livelihoods are being taken from them. Like I see those as different things. Like
Yeah, I guess
and
they were
also
directly stirred up over months
and also
of being told
yeah,
things.
and like I see blame in the Capitol Hill riots. Like I feel like we can blame Trump. I feel like we can blame ignorance, like stuff like that. Whereas with the truckers, that's a matter of like technological advance, you know?
Yeah, but in both cases, it's a lack of trust in the institution. That's what I see. That the truckers are against big tech companies, and they're basically demanding a step in from the government.
Yeah,
And I guess in this case, they're demanding like reform, or because they think the election was stolen from them. But in my eyes, I see it as um, a result of built-up tension and a lack of trust in the government.
yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I think I think we can see who's to blame for it. I've pulled up the Donald's Twitter feed and just all these claims about election fraud. Like that's what's causing all this distrust and all
Yeah,
this
for
like
months and months,
not
and
accepting
him and
it.
his cronies too. There are a
Yeah,
ton of Republicans that are like siding with him. His entire administration has gone along with this ploy,
yeah.
just telling people like it was stolen, and
God, I don't know how Twitter works. I'm trying to select things and I'm just going in.
yeah.
But yeah, um,
I mean, just this morning, Senate got together and passed the vote that Biden's election was legitimate. So
oh yeah, yeah. So this
that's like the
debate is over. This debacle is over. There's no more making claims. He might still go kicking and screaming. He might even, make radical claims for another few months, but eventually people are just going to tell him to shut the fuck up. And I
yeah.
cannot wait. I cannot wait. I wonder
I
what's going to
think what
happen.
happened yesterday did. I mean, yeah. I mean, we already talked about Pence going behind his back, but like that's the first major dislodgement of uh of that administration. But it's I don't feel like it's January 7th now. We've almost celebrated a week ago, 2021. But to be honest, I don't feel like it's gonna be a new year until January 20th, until the inauguration.
Yeah. Well, hopefully nothing goes wrong until then. Um, yeah. I mean, a new year, it's an arbitrary, date, right? Like
Yeah.
we're still in a pandemic. The same stuff is still going on.
We got some problems of our own happening here in Ontario. Do you know
Yeah.
about the politicians and people taking vacations? They're just piecing out to the Caribbean.
Lots of outrage around that. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, that's so hypocritical. It's just
Yeah. The main one, or at least the biggest one from recent memory, was Rod Phillips. He was the finance minister in the provincial cabinet, and I mean, he was up there. I would see him on the news daily on during our briefings talking about lockdown and how we should all stay home. And this guy pieces out to the Caribbean for a Christmas vacation. Like, really?
yeah.
And the worst part, or the most evil part about it, is that he would show up to he had a lineup of tweets making it appear like he was still in Ontario,
Oh,
passing legislation and shit, right?
cool.
That's
Cool.
that's that's where the most malice in it is that it was very
Like
produced.
he knew that what he was doing was wrong and he was covering it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I'm
was
sorry
one of
about
those
your
sorry you
sweeping it
got
a bit.
caught situations.
Yeah.
No problem. I can talk about this for a
I'm just
while.
gonna
He resigned from his position in the cabinet. But the issue a lot of people are having is that he's still a local elective in like his ward. Fuck, I wish I could
What do
remember
you mean
which
in his word?
in his ward, as in like how
Ward.
like
Oh.
people are local representatives in
Oh, I see.
for
Like
like
he
a
has,
neighborhood.
like he can be
Like we
voted
have a
for and
person
stuff.
for
Yeah.
Parkdale, right? We have our boy Arif Virani,
Yeah.
and he's still elected in his riding and is still reaping paychecks. So in the end, it's almost like he doesn't lose anything. He's still a parasite. He hasn't really lost. Yeah, it's kind of made me lose faith in in government institutions. It's like what happened yesterday in the States was dirty, but we have our own problems. And we can bark about it and be mad and like have him resign, but like what's changed really? He should be tried like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Treated like a citizen.
Yeah, but this isn't new. Like, still, people in power get to break the rules. They get to, you know, do what they want, essentially. And, I don't know. We've been saying a lot of negative stuff, and there's just so much to say and so much to feel, but I want to try to, like, bring something positive out of this, you know? Or, I don't know. There's so much outside of our sphere of control. And we kind of talked about this last time in the unreleased episode. Holy shit! I shouldn't have turned that light on.
You want to talk about schooling and shit? That's what my mind was.
Yeah, we could talk about schooling. But yeah,
Or
definitely. Yeah, there's just too much politics that I'm not well read about and not impressed about.
well,
So
here's something we can talk about because it's heavily anecdotal and probably an experience we should share. But I mean, I just finished my first co-op placement at this marketing company. I was an intern there. I didn't have to get anyone coffee, which is cool, mostly because we were all at home. But why don't you talk about online school first? Let's get your take on
okay,
how
yeah.
that went for you.
So overall, the information was still delivered all right. Most of the recorded lectures were good, but some were much better than others. I had one class where it was very professional quality. This guy had a clear wall, and he did his drawings and stuff on that, and reversed the video so that you could see it. It was beautiful. It was so nice, so concise. But then another one was just sort of PowerPoint presentation, like using the mouse to, gesticulate kind of, and poorly recorded audio. So that was definitely like very hit or miss. Um, but what I really liked was my ability to what's the word? It was easier to participate because I'm kind of shy. So in a room of like 200 people, I don't want to answer questions unless I'm very sure. Whereas with this, you just throw it out there, Everybody's throwing out an answer. And also, if you have questions, you just type it. You don't need to like interrupt the class or anything. You type it and someone else might help you. If like not even the professor. So that was really cool. Also it was a chance to show the professor what you know because you can answer other people's questions. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it's almost like if you were sitting in a lecture hall, if we were all just psychic and could just like transfer
Yeah.
questions to the
Yeah.
the
You
air.
could just talk to like way over there, no problem.
Yeah, you would ask things that you would never like
Yeah.
interrupt a lecture
So that was
for.
cool. But because of my program, this year I had a lot of labs and they were going to be in person and I was supposed to be seeing some pretty cool machinery. Like basically all the classic machines and tools that you use to build things, to make things, I would have gotten to see and possibly even like touch, operate a little bit. But I didn't. It was all online. So that was really disappointing to me. Like we saw videos, but it's not the same. It's not the same as actually being there.
Yeah. It's just the equivalent of being told or shown things. It's just
Yeah. It's not
you
the
can't
same as
be
getting
you
to like
can't
do it.
I can't read how to drive a car, you
Yeah,
know?
you gotta just sit there, get behind the wheel, and figure it out. Also, motivation was tough. It was hard to be motivated. Um, I don't know. I'm motivated by the pressure of other people. Like I'm motivated by competition, camaraderie, um, just fitting in. And it was really easy to just not go to lecture when I'm just sitting here, you know? So
Mhm.
that was one big thing for me.
It's so easy to blow it off, I
Yeah,
imagine.
no, it was
So
so easy.
easy.
Or you're bored during a lecture. Well, you're one tab away from just opening up like some, I don't know, online chess or just a YouTube video or just
I
pulling
mean,
out
we
your
played
phone.
online chess in person.
Yeah, yeah, we've done that. Oh,
In-person lectures.
yeah, that's true. So imagine how much worse it is now.
Yeah, much worse.
And then finally, my last point would be the projects. Although my projects went really well this year, I had some pretty solid groups. For labs, which were also essentially small projects, my groups were pretty solid. It's still, I miss that chance to meet new people and work with them. And doing
Yeah.
so over like Google Meets or something was all right, but it wasn't the same as actually being in person, you know?
Yeah.
So I missed that. We were still coordinated, but it would have been nice to get to see everyone's faces and really talk to them. I still don't know half the faces of like my lab groups. So, yeah, it was all right, but people gave the schools a ton of shit for it. I think they're just doing the best they can. I think they did a fine
Yeah.
job. Not
Yeah, I
great,
mean,
but
in the
fine.
end, at the end of the day, I mean, they're all in the same pandemic we are.
Yeah, like they're just, I don't
So
know.
we can't really talk shit about them that much.
And like in general, like everybody's just trying to do their job. You know, everyone's just trying to get by, you know. Some people are lazy, some people are scumbags, but most people are just sort of uh, they're just doing what they can. So I don't feel I feel like most people, especially not the schools right now, I don't think they deserve hate. But I'd have liked to pay less tuition. That's one thing. Like,
Yeah, they got
come on.
away with that.
Come on. But yeah, how was working your internship?
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, it's weird because I'm applying for jobs again now, but I looked at some of my old cover letters and I sent my application to the company I just finished with about a year ago. It was on January 23rd, 2020. So I have a full year to reflect on here. Originally, it wasn't planned to be work from home, but by the time I was supposed to start in May, it was permanently work from home. So it's not like I ever switched. But it was weird. I was in a help desk slot as an IT guy, so I talked. A lot of what I did was sitting right here in this chair, in this exact environment, talking with you on a face cam, and I got to meet a lot of interesting people. I worked with a lot of post grads. This was their first full time job, all the way up to fucking teaching teaching the grandpa salesman how to organize his inbox and shit like that. But um, it was really nice to just kind of take my head out of my ass while I was in lecture because specifically, at least the idea that the kind of air I get being I'm studying computer science, and a lot of there's such a buzz of competition around. Uh, how do I describe this? Everybody's trying to move to Silicon Valley, or everyone there is trying to work for Google, or be the next Google, and it's just such a you mix such nerdiness and such competition together, and I've always been uh I've always disregarded it or been disengaged from that because I don't really want I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not the guy to believe to be super innovative or to reach that high. Um so it was nice And I should say that manifested itself in the first co-op placement because everybody was competing for like the cool software development at this cool startup tech company. But I got to step out of that when I landed this IT job. No, you could poll every student in computer science right now, and none of them are aiming for IT, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Including me. I was pretty like it was the only job that actually replied to me with an interview. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it. I was waiting on some others that were like more attractive, but they weren't getting back to me. So I was like, I'm just gonna take the first thing I get. And despite it being online, I gotta say it was really great to be in in me forget about all that stupid buzz of competition I was talking about earlier. Like it was just I landed in this space with a lot of there were a lot of welcoming people, a lot of cool people. I got to see the workflow of projects. Like I totally forgot all about computer science and programming, being a software developer. It was just I got to be part of a team,
Yeah.
and that was the best part of it for me. I met some really awesome people. I hope to keep in touch with, and despite it being online, it just took me out of um and I think I needed that. It just kind of jerked me out of the competition, or I should say it was almost an illusion in my classes. Um,
Yeah.
and ultimately, it has made me disengage from my education, even just being a part of a job. Like why I'm halfway through now. We're about to start third year. At this
Well,
point,
you
my
are.
attitude is,
I'm
yeah,
starting
I know
fourth year.
you're halfway
Well,
through,
I'm
but
halfway through third year.
yeah, but it just made me reflect on that, and I just kind of think I'm not interested in school anymore. Not
Yeah.
that interested in my major. I like it. I'm gonna complete it, but um, I'm disengaged from school at this point,
Yeah. And
online or not.
we've talked about this before. Sorry, my fucking ear is so goddamn annoying. Um, but yeah, like working at my job this summer, I experienced the same thing. It was very cool to see, like you said, just watch projects unfold, see how see how things actually work, see how teams do things, get things done. And yeah, school's useful. It's important to get the education you need to do your job. But I see it like a hoop to jump through. I don't see it like the end. I see it as a means to an end. So
Yeah,
yeah.
my boss told me during my final eval, he was like, the number one thing that you that he believes university is meant to teach you is to just learn how to approach challenges, right? And that really resonated with me because coming from a person who's maybe less interested in their major, um, I you know, struggling for the first 2 years of school definitely did make me a tougher student or a tougher problem solver, I should say, not a student. And I'm ready to just fucking be a professional, no matter
Yeah.
what it is, you know?
Yeah. I'm ready to go back to that same job that I had and actually be engaged.
Yeah.
Because last time I was, how would I say this? This summer, I didn't know the program. I didn't know what I could and couldn't do so much, and I had a lot of unsupervised time. So I could have made more of it, and I could have taken on more opportunities at that company. Um, and really gotten to be on some cool projects. Like if I'd really been assertive and on top of my shit, I could have helped with this it's called an ICAM. I forget what it stands for, but basically it's like a complex in-depth analysis of why the fuck a fire happened at this factory. And this fire caused like $250,000 in damage. Like a lot of shit had to be replaced. And
Hmm.
I just lowered my chair. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, I could have been on that and gotten to see that whole process of like analyzing how fire started and like where it went and stuff. But I didn't know what I could do. I didn't know what I couldn't do.
That sounds way sicker than anything you could do in a class, in
Yeah,
a lecture, you know?
yeah. Like I can learn about, I don't know, fluid dynamics. And that's cool. It's interesting. But what's more interesting is figuring out how to make this fan work or figuring out why a fire started. Like everything that went up to the fire starting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I plan to do. I plan to, do the jobs that I have to do, but also keep an eye out for interesting projects that I can actually learn from. And yeah, you can't get that at school. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump through the hoop,
Also,
but that's it.
I got to meet with some industry professionals. I have a funny story. So close to the end of my placement, uh, I got onto this project where basically, IT, we had to figure out how to get our client records from where our salespeople make the deals or where they record their deals, and we had to figure out how to get that onto an internal platform or into our own internal servers for us to safekeep or just for other teams to access. So I guess brief explanation of the workflow. Our salespeople are out there being snazzy. They make a deal. They record it on our CRM, which is basically just a customer database. Now we need to actually get work done for that client and get their information to our project management teams, our data analytics team, so that they can actually get like a framework going for what they need to do for those people. So that exists internally. We need to keep that information safe and secure on our own websites where our staff interact with it. And part of the job that we were supposed to do is figure out how to get that syncing, how to get those two lists syncing. Huge pain in the ass. I had to write some scripts for it. I was part of that. I had to get this workflow going. It was a chart. It was just a massive hopper, but we got it working. And I needed the help of one of our programmer analysts to do it. And it was, I swear, we spent like 2 hours just trying to get it to. We were deploying it to a SQL server, which would basically automate it for us. Because previously, I would have to click run on this script every 2 or so hours. And if you're familiar with programming at all, that's got to sound. I mean, even if you're unfamiliar,
It
it's
sounds
got to sound
archaic.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like
imagine I have this cool automated task, but I have to click run every 2 hours. Like that's just stupid.
yeah.
So me and this programmer analyst, we just spent 2 hours just trying to get it to work. We could not get it to deploy. There were so many bugs and compatibility issues. He was losing his shit the whole time. He started making jokes, and we were
That's
eventually
so
we were
funny.
just we were just cracking sarcasm. And at the peak of his rage, I'm sitting there quietly just looking at this, and all I hear is, "Are you ready to start your career as a programmer?"
I love that
And
because
I lost it.
I
Yeah,
could I could like I can feel that like delirious kind of hysteria
I
when you've
know.
just been working at something and it's just not working.
I lost my shit there.
That's
It's
so
just
fun.
the pure loss of sanity. It was just like, "Are you ready to start your career as a programmer?" I was like, "Whoa, whoa,
Oh, that's amazing.
yikes!"
That's great.
Yeah, yeah. I
Are
think
you ready?
developers are some of the funniest people you'll meet. Like they're very nerdy and introverted, but the fact that they deal with so much bullshit, like if you get them on the topic that if you get them talking about their shit, like they're fucking hilarious people. They're very just sarcastic
That's
and
great.
just yeah, they're very broken down, and it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. I gotta
Yeah.
say, I'll
Like
never
I said,
forget
we're
that.
all just out here trying to do our best. And
It,
like an
yeah,
industry professional just breaking down and losing it.
I know, and it was a lot of the same shit. Like I'm I have typos in my code all the time that
Yeah.
have me scrambling for, and he was just like, "Yeah, you will never escape that."
See, what I would have done is made a little gearbox that like hits the mouse once every 2 hours and clicks run for you.
And you see, that's what a mech eng guy would say.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
why you're fucking with all this computer shit. Just make it easy.
yeah. But now that we're kind of exiting our student mentality, I mean, I have to say, it's almost like the next stage of growth. But I'm looking back before that when we were just high school students moving into res and being away
Yeah.
from home for the first time. That was like the previous level up.
Yeah, so
Uh,
many levels.
Do you want to talk about those oh shit stories that we
Yeah,
had?
yeah. The oh shit, this is really happening moments.
Yeah, we call it the
Yeah,
oh shit moment because it's just like we were recalling last time we hung out. Like, do you remember the first time you moved out and you were like, oh shit, I have to handle this, you know?
yeah,
You don't have your parents to bail you out or anything like
yeah.
that.
And it was, yeah. I remember the sense of freedom. Just like, oh, I can be, I can have friends over whenever I want. I can eat whenever I want. I can sleep and wake up whenever I want. And it was like, I think I was
Transformative.
about a week in. Now, like obviously, like your independence like slowly grows a bit in high school, but like this was a big jump, right? This is a jump from like you can do pretty much whatever you want, but your family's still around to kind of guide you, and like you're alone. And I was alone because my roommate, I was in a room that was supposed to have two people, but my roommate moved in like a week and a half late or something. So I had like a long time of just being just in a room by myself. I went outside, but like you go back and it's like, oh shit. And when I was hungry and I like go to the fridge, look at on top of the fridge, and there's a big old jar of peanut butter, and I just start eating it with a spoon. That's when I looked up. I went, damn, this is like the beginning of adulthood.
You feel that university student sadness or like I remember I ate my saddest meal. I had some white bread at a friend's house. I don't know if I said this on the last
Oh,
episode, but
yeah, you definitely told me
didn't I?
though.
Yeah, my friend and I came back in between classes to his place, and we were both really hungry. And all the guy had was white bread. He had nothing in the fridge, so he was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll sauce you a slice." I took a slice of white bread, and I stared at it, and I was like,
It's
I
missing
can't just eat
something.
white bread, right? So I took the salt shaker and I put some salt on it, and I fucking ate a slice of raw white bread with salt, and it just made it worse and sadder, and I wanted to end my life. But yeah, that was probably my saddest meal.
Yeah.
I have a crazy story from first year. I don't think I have even told you this.
Mm,
Pretty traumatic,
do
I have
tell.
to say. Yeah,
Even better.
so this is first semester. Okay, first, I mean, bro, you knew I grew up as the nosebleed kid in school.
Yeah. Yeah,
in
you did.
in primary school. I would fucking always get nosebleeds. It was the most embarrassing shit. And less so now that I'm an adult, but um first year I got this horrible nosebleed that started when I was just studying one night. Um and I plugged it up whatever, but then it started again at about 3 in the morning that night. Um And I did the same, the usual shit, nothing interesting about that. But after about 45 minutes, I was like, holy shit, I've lost a lot of blood. I was starting to feel lightheaded. So I called we call them FRT. It's the first response team. That's basically all the med grads get to be. They can volunteer to be part of like
Yeah, we have that too.
right, yeah, it's like the on campus
I forget what we
first
called it,
responders.
but yeah. Yeah, you don't even have to
Yeah.
be a med student for us.
Yeah, so I called them over. They came. I had to go like I had to walk from my room to the building's desk. They came, they met me there, they diagnosed me, whatever, and put on they tracked my heart rate. They couldn't really do that much extensive, but they recommended that I go to the hospital because they're like, bro, you've lost a lot of
Yeah.
blood. You
That's
could go
about
back to your room, but you should go to the hospital. And I was like, in my days at 3 in the morning, I was like, okay, sure, I'll go to the hospital. So they walked me back to my room and I grabbed my phone and my student card. And I was like, Guelph has I can pay the taxi cabs with my student card. And they were like, yeah, you can. So I'm like, okay, I grabbed that shit. Nothing else on me, just my phone and
you
my
didn't
student card.
you didn't bring your wallet? No keys?
No, I was that out of it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got in the cab and the guy drives me to the hospital. And then he says like, all right, how are you gonna pay? And I was like, I can't pay with my student card. And he was like, no, dude, you can't. So you owe me some money. And I was like, okay. What do you do in that situation? So I just kind of said, okay, I need to go to the hospital right now. That's what I cared about the most. Can you stay here and you can drive me back, right? And then I'll pay you at res. And he was pissed off, right? This taxi cab driver's like, bro, I got other rides to make. But he agreed. I went into the hospital and I waited there for about half an hour, just sitting there, just like freaking the fuck out about like, how the fuck am I gonna pay this? How did I get in this situation? And finally I get into triage, right? That's like the pre-treatment. That's when the nurses come and they just take your information.
Yeah.
And then the nurse is like, all right, you got your health card? And I'm like, no,
Oh.
I don't have my health card. I have my
Rip.
student card. For the second time that night, I was like, I just held up my student card as
What
if
are
it
this?
meant anything. Yeah. And the nurse was like, all right, well, this is gonna cost you a few $1,000s then if you can't prove, right? And like they gave me the options, like, okay, you can go home after the fact and fill out this form and then prove it. And I did not want to think about that. It was just more on my plate. So I finally decided in my panic, okay, just don't treat me then, right? I left the hospital for no reason, right? After triage, and then I got back in the cab. Actually, I remember I had to call the cab company because the cab had drove away. And there's a fucking old telephone booth in the hospital, and I was calling the cab company, and the guy answers. He's like, "All right, where are you? We'll pick you up." And I said, I'm a student." And he just goes in the most gruff, uninterested voice. "Oh, you're the kid with no money, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, please pick me up." And he's like, "Oh, fuck's sake. All right, we're sending him over." The cab driver comes by, he picks me up, he drives me back to the school, and he was actually kind of nice. Like we had a conversation about like, "Oh, where are you from?" all that shit. And then when we get to campus, he's like, "All right, you got to go up to your room to pay. How do I know you're not going to scam me?" Right? So I was like, "Fuck. Okay."
Student
I
card?
No, I didn't hold up the student card for the third time, but I left my phone with him. And that was really risky because he could have just driven off with that, like
Yeah.
I don't trust this guy, but what other choice did I have really? I left my phone with him, hobbled up to my room. It was now 5:30 in the morning, I would say. The sun was just about
Nice.
coming up.
So you've been bleeding, you're sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Generally not
Uh
normal.
I go down, I pay off the guy, he gives me my phone back, I go to my room and I just collapse. But I have class at 10 in the morning. I wake up at 9:45, and there's a midterm for that class. I did not know about. I totally forgotten about it. So I woke up. I fucking got my shit together. I went to I hobbled my ass into class, just like still fucked up from the night before, and I wrote the midterm and I passed it.
Hey, that's
But
pretty good.
yeah, I ended up doing okay on it. But honestly, the midterm is the least important part of that story. Like I was still in shock over the next week. Like, holy fuck, man. Like, how did I get myself
You
into
got
that
an
bullshit?
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I gotta fucking get my shit together. That
Yeah,
was in first
get
semester of
your
first
phone and
year.
wallet, bro. Phone,
Crazy,
keys,
yeah.
wallet, always.
Yeah. Um, crazy.
Yeah. Now, growing up's weird. I'm making my own doctor's appointments now and like dentist appointments. Something about it,
I
man.
fucking hate calling
Something about it.
receptionists and shit.
Yeah.
I hate talking on the phone. I did a lot of it for my job, but I still hate it. I'm good at it now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's
Detest it.
easier from the service side. It's easier when it's like,
Very
okay,
easy.
these are the 4 things I'm gonna have to do. Hi, which one of the 4 things do you want me to do for you? Okay, this one? Okay.
Actually, I have to say, being on the customer service side of it for 8 months, I feel much more comfortable as a customer now. I feel like I'm more willing to make demands. I'm more willing to like be. I'm channeling that Karen. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had to get these laptops shipped to Winnipeg, and or no, I had to ship some laptops to Texas because we had some associates there, and they fucked up the order, so I had to keep going back and forth with FedEx, and eventually I got really mad at this one customer service guy, and I was just like, "Who we fucking paid you for this shit. It's not making it. You guys haven't made contact with us. You're the first human person I've talked to in about half an hour." And he was like, "Okay, sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. We will make sure that this delivery makes it." And then because it was stuck in customs for some bullshit, and I got it through. So
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm definitely more comfortable being a customer now. I'm no longer like, "Oh, I'm sorry to bother you guys."
Yeah, did you? I was gonna ask, did you have any pet peeves with like ways the customer spoke to you?
Yes. I didn't like specifically, I didn't like when people wouldn't say hi. That mattered a lot to me. I don't know why it bugged me so much, but I mean, I was new to the company. A lot of people still, most of the company still hasn't met me, right? Because I haven't been in contact. They haven't put tickets in or whatever. So for a lot of the time, especially in the first 4 months, it was these calls were the first time meeting this person, and I would just be like, "Hi, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you," and they would just be like, they would launch straight into the problem. I'd be like, "All right, fuck you then," or if people got really comfortable swearing really quickly, like, "I don't get this fucking thing," and it's just like, bro, I'm here to help you. Don't swear at me, right?
Yeah, like you gotta be
Keep it
professional.
chill. Yeah, be professional. This is still a professional setting. I'm in your company. I'm not just some external dude.
Yeah.
But
Were there ever
I mean,
people
I
that were
handled it.
like, yeah, were there ever people that were like so polite that they're just wasting time? And you're like, ugh, get
Yes.
on with it.
Yeah, there was this one European dude. He would fucking be so polite and flowery. He would say thank you for your time and all that shit. "Oh, I appreciate this." And I would just be like, "Bro, just get to the problem. I got shit to do."
It's fine. I'm being
Yeah.
paid for this. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, like you don't have to be that nice to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's both extremes I did not like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
I didn't get
really
much
what
of
I
that.
was looking for was just like, because my mindset going in was I'm just pretending like I'm helping a friend with a problem. So be polite, but also be pragmatic, be practical.
Yeah.
And it helped me be a nicer person and be more personable. But when I didn't get that from them, it's like, fuck you, man.
Yeah. It was funny when I was I had to do like reception work for a bit because the receptionist quit. Um, and it was mostly uneventful, you know, taking calls, printing bills, stapling shit together. But one guy tried to like scam us, and actually like after the fact, I talked to that like the head of shipping, and he kind of told me like about this play kind of this sort of tactic, and it's basically like if you can get the bill, then you don't actually have to pick up the order. So we
Hmm.
don't let the truck driver get the bill until the order's loaded onto their truck. So, but
Okay.
like people will call and try to get the bill early. It's like, oh, I'm just waiting in line. Can I get the bill now? I'm in a rush. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I know where I was going with that, but
You're
it
like,
just kind of
fuck you, bro, we have a policy. No.
like I was just all like the first time I was just sketched out, so I asked, and they're like, yeah, no, don't ever give them the bill.
Yeah, no. We got procedures to follow. People would message me on Teams. They would message me like, "Hey, I have this problem with the printer. Can you help me out?" I'm like, "Put in a ticket, man." No.
Fill a ticket, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
I
feel like this
think
has been good.
yeah, this idea came to me now. We didn't plan this kind of wrap up, but I think there's a theme to this all. We spent the first half talking about all the bullshit that just happened yesterday. It was still is unacceptable, but I mean, you and I just exchanged a lot of stories about stressful situations, but as time goes on, we figure it out, and it's man, is it funny as hell to look back on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, yeah, shit's going down, but shit has gone down, and we're still here.
Yeah, and like shit will continue to go down. So just I don't know. It's easy to be pessimistic, and I used to be all like, "Arr, like fucking world is shit," but the more I just let go, the less stressed out I am.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're
yeah,
all just
and
out here. No one knows what the
yeah,
fuck
we're
they're
all out
doing.
here, and yeah, it's funny as shit looking back and talking about shit that we overcame. So
Yeah.
same with 2021, man. It'll be we'll look back on it and laugh on it.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But yeah,
And
it's a good time
thanks
to
again
wrap it
if you
up.
listened this far. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for listening. You're the best. We love you. And I don't know. If you have anything you want us to talk about or any questions or anything, let us know. Cause we're looking for shit to talk about. We talk enough, so it gets old quick. You're just gonna do this, eh? I gotta see how much longer I can keep it running before.
Fuck you. No, you're not gonna do that
That's
shit.
right.
All right,
That's
peace.
right. Peace
Peace,
out,
fellas.
everyone.